Hello and good morning, my beautiful Barca babies. It is time to wake up and Barca. We're going over the live Barcelona news. A bit of a somber episode, of course, the El Clasico loss. Barcelona 1, Jude Bellingham 2. We'll go over the match results. We'll go over the good, the bad, the Barca. We will give out the mustache man of the match. We'll talk all things Barcelona here on today's episode of Wake Up and Barca. Good morning again. Welcome again. Subscribe to the channel if you're just finding us. This is all about connecting with your fellow culés, asking your questions, giving your opinions, supporting the badge, supporting each other. That is what we do here on this channel. So if you are finding us for the first time, welcome, subscribe, drop a like. Let's kick things off the right way, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the undefeated Mustache John.
All right, cheers to you all and good morning. We are in this together as always. Yes, we lost the big one, El Clasico, but I'm going to remind you all that the same thing happened last year and things turned out pretty okay. La Liga champions, all right? Heads up. We're going to get into things. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the Barca. Give out our mustache man of the match. But, oh, there we go. Of course, I restart the intro accidentally. Stash Mods resent the counter. Let me see what's going on in the chat here. Let me refresh, see who's with us. As that's loading up, Kareem the Dream, how we doing here? Says, I'm a Madrid fan. Am I allowed here? You're allowed as long as you're here for good conversation. I don't allow trolling. A little bit of teasing once you're a part of the community is fine. We do have some Madristas who stop by that are friends of the channel, part of the Stash Squad, and that's okay. I do not have any hate in my heart for Madristas. I really don't. But trolling is trolling online in sports is dumb. Trolling in general can be very funny, but for folks that hop on, here's what it is. This is not just Madrid fans. Anybody who watches sports, and when your team wins, your reaction is to go on to your opponent's channels, your opponent's pages, and engage with your opponents in a negative way. That to me just doesn't make sense. Why would you not want to celebrate with your community, with your friends? You know what I mean? So, as long as you're here with the right attitude, you're here to engage in a positive way, all are welcome. All are certainly welcome. Pancho Mike, how we doing, sir? Kareem says here for the great conversation, then you are in the right place, my good man. I hope you are having a great day. Sahil, hello and welcome. I know we got some more folks trickling in, and we are going to get to the good, the bad, the Barca. But before we do that, let's go ahead and jump over and do a little match overview for those that maybe missed it. Who knows? Maybe you were stuck under a rock all weekend and didn't see the match. But we had the 2-1 results, of course, in favor of Real Madrid. Jude Bellingham coming up huge, 68th minute rocket, absolute rocket. And then you could say lucky, you could say it's good fortune, but he's been doing it time and time again. If you jump over where it is, where it is, what an idiot. Did I have it? Did I have it up? Nope, I thought I did. Hang on, let me get to it. You guys just saw a little preview of what we'll be talking about, but there was a Jude Bellingham tweet that I wanted to share here. Where was it? There it is. When I say he's been doing it all season, look at this. Does it against Barca, does it against Union Berlin, does it against Getafe, and there's some other occasions too. Right place, right time. I said this on the Más que un podcast, which will be coming out later today. Again, check us out on Spotify, check us out on YouTube, Más que un podcast. I digress. Jude Bellingham does the simple things very well. I got no hate for what Jude Bellingham is doing on the pitch. I do think Gavi did his job against him. We'll talk about that during the good, the bad, the Barca. But just giving some flowers, giving some love to Jude Bellingham, doing simple things amazingly well. So shout out to Jude. I digress. Jumping back over to the match overview. Ilkay, of course, got his first goal for Barcelona. Big time to do it, but overshadowed by the match results. We'll circle back to some of Ilkay's comments here a little bit later in the stream. When we scroll down and take a look at the stats, 15 shots, only 3 on target for Barca. That's been an issue. We got to sharpen that up. You guys know that. Allowed 13 with 4 on target. Barcelona, more possession, more passes, slightly worse passing accuracy, and that is a big key stat. If you're familiar with the channel, you know I like to look at the passing accuracy. Barcelona need to be 89, 90% or more. Otherwise, you notice it on the pitch. When we dip down into the mid-80s, I know, you're thinking, what, that's a pretty high number. That's still like a B. Sure, but for Barcelona's standards, for Barcelona's style of play, need to be more accurate. 2 yellow cards for Barca, 1 to Real Madrid. Should have been more. Absolutely should have been more. Again, we'll get into that during the good, the bad, the Barca. So if we take a look at the table now, Barcelona have dropped down into 4th, and that's going to cause some of you to panic. I understand and I appreciate the concerns, but again, same thing happened last year. Lost to Madrid in El Clasico. We come back, we win La Liga. All right, we are 4 points back from the top. It is a tight table right now, and we do have Sociedad coming up next. So take all of that in. El Clasico loss, currently in 4th, but we're going to be okay. We're going to be all right. I know it stings. I know that. But folks, we have so much to be excited about. The players that we have returning from injury, the youngsters that we have emerging from La Masia, there's a lot to be excited about. Okay? Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, I see folks chiming in over on TikTok. If you want the full experience, of course, swipe on over, click the link in the bio. That'll get you over to the YouTube channel where you're watching right here. You could be part of the Stash Squad. All you got to do is subscribe to the channel, participate in the conversation. If you're watching down on replay, let me know down in the comments what you're thinking, how you're feeling about this match so far. Sail Row, Visca Barca right back at you. Now, listen, I gave my opinion there of calma culés, because there are some others that feel like there should be maybe a stronger reaction. Talking about İlkay Gundogan, of course. This is what he tweeted out after some comments post-match, but this is his tweet. What an unnecessary result yesterday. So frustrating. We need to take a great step now and learn from that. Amen to that. Amen to that. I don't have a problem with what Gundogan said. I know it is kind of in conflict with my attitude right now, which is we're okay, calma. But that's because I'm a supporter and he's a player. For the players, yeah, you should probably be upset. You were the better team for 68 minutes of that match. And then things changed. Then things turned around. Good morning to you, Kudus. What's up, brother? So for the supporters, calma. Everything's going to be okay. For the players, I'm with İlkay. Let's learn our lesson. Let's regroup. Let's refocus. Let's sharpen up in front of net, okay? The shooting has to be primed in there. We're not getting things between the posts, too much off the woodwork. So players and supporters, different attitudes. That's how both can exist, all right? Again, we're going to be getting into the good, the bad, the Barca here in just a moment. I do see some comments in the chat I want to turn to, and then we will be giving out the match awards, of course. Let me jump on over here real quick, check one thing. Hang on, and then we're going to turn to the chat. Shut up. Hang on. Hang on one sec, folks. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Had to fix something behind the scenes. We're good. Anyway, welcome back, my friends. Sahil says, Ter Stegen would have done better on Jude's banger. What's your take? Yes, that was actually something that I brought up again on the Mosque Un podcast episode coming out later today. I do agree Ter Stegen went for a swipe there, tried to parry it away, as opposed to just getting the contact that he needed, just getting it away. So I do think Ter Stegen could have done better on that first goal. Pancho Mike, good morning to you, says, do you think the type of play Xavi wants wears out tired, slightly injured, and older players as the match runs on? I mean, he does ask for a high level of intensity, and that is a fair question. I would say it's not so much the style of play as much as it is the annual schedule now. It used to be that players got a break in the summer unless they were called into international duty, and that would only be for a couple of weeks. Now, you're doing a tour to US, you're doing a tour to Asia, you're doing more international matches. They've got the Nations League now that they're adding in. So the world of soccer is trying to cash in on as much football as they can, as many matches as they can year round. That to me is what's causing the injury. It's not just Barcelona. It's Chelsea and others that are suffering from these injury woes. So if we want to have the top players around, you got to give them a break. You got to give them a break. Rahul, good to see you as well. Says, love the video so far and 100% agree with what you're saying. Well, thank you, Rahul. Appreciate you giving me the validation there. Dimitar, good to see you, brother. I'm doing well. Hope you are doing well as on your side of things. Kareem the Dream says, love from Singapore. Well, love from the States right back at you. And some of you right now might be like, oh my gosh, John, that is such a cool sweatshirt. Where'd you get that $18.99 Barca sweatshirt? That's so dope. Yes, it is. And you can get yours at barcamerch.com. Check it out. We've got t-shirts, we've got sweatshirts, we got tank tops, we got polos, we got mugs. Sipping on mine right now. The $18.99 mug. Look at that, I'm matching. You can do it too. $18.99 mug and shirt. Check it out, barcamerch.com /squad10 for a 10% discount at checkout. With that out of the way, I think it is time, my friends, for us to jump into the good, the bad, the Barca. Again, if you're watching on TikTok, swipe over, click the link in the bio. That'll get you over to where you need to be. And actually, there we go. That's better. That's a little better. Anyway, back to you all over here on the YouTubes. Let's discuss the good, the bad, the Barca. We do. Yes, indeed. Kudus, I appreciate the love and support as always. Hope your day is going well, my friend. We need to get on the stick soon. I know this is off topic with the bad, the Barca, but we need to get back on the sticks. Anyway, I digress. Folks, let's begin as we do by talking about what was good about the match. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, we lost El Clasico. How could anything be good about this? There were some good things, okay? Starting with joao Felix. He's finding himself in the good box pretty consistently. He did have a man of the match not too long ago. I'm liking his performance. I'm liking his attitude. I'm liking the consistency that he's bringing. The one thing that he needs to change, and I've said this about a few players now, gotta get it in the back of the net. He's hitting the post. He's hitting the woodwork. That's the one inconsistent part of his game right now. But he's setting players up. He's getting in behind. He's creating havoc in the attacking third. Good things from joao Felix. Fermin Lopez, I could say the exact same thing. Creating havoc. Incredibly creative player on the ball. Opening up passing lanes. Just causing disturbances. Causing some chaos for the defense there. Gotta work on the finishing. 2-3 matches now, he's gotten himself in amazing positions, one-on-one with the keeper at times, finding space, finding room to get the shot off. You got to put it in the back of the net. You got to. Still, good performance, working his way into the squad. Rumor has it that Xavi has come out and said, even when Pedri returns, Fermin's not going back. He's with us. So Fermin Lopez showing up in an El Clasico, showing Tony Cruz that he needs to hang up those boots. All right. Good performance. But the good box, the final one, goes to Ferran Torres. Didn't get the official assist for Gundogan's goal, but playing in Lewandowski's spot there essentially with Joao Cancelo on one side, with Felix on the other. Ferran Torres doing what he needs to do to be involved, to set up other players. He's not always going to be the goal scorer, even though he is putting some in the back of the net this year. The shark mentality. It's good that he's getting playing time. It's good that he's getting starts. It's good that he's producing from the starting 11. That's been something that Ferran has kind of struggled with for a little bit now, where he seems to be more productive off the bench. So I was glad to see him get the start and get an assist there. So for those reasons, Ferran Torres in the good box. Now, of course, we have to jump over and talk about what was bad about the match. We do have some things to discuss. Starting with Lewandowski. I hate to do it, hate to even call it out. I know you're coming back from injury, but that was sloppy. That was rusty. That was rough, my dude. I will give you a pass, all right? He's not getting the official bad box, but it is worth mentioning. Lewandowski off the bench couldn't control the ball, couldn't link up with passes, couldn't build the chemistry with the other players around him. So you got to say, Lewandowski, let's get back to form sooner rather than later, because right now, what I'm seeing was pretty bad. Speaking of bad, Gil Manzano. I don't understand how Tchouaméni's assault on Araujo was not called for a penalty. Particularly now, after seeing the Manchester derby the day after, the penalty called on, who was it? Rodri, that was pulled down, was less contact, was less of an infraction than what we saw against Araujo. Helped me understand. That plus the fact that how many fouls does Real Madrid get before the yellow cards come in? They had a dozen or so fouls in the first half and one yellow card shown all match. Unbelievable. Meanwhile, Fermin Lopez, first challenge, gets a yellow card. Get your stuff together, Gil. Get it together. He is only saved from the bad box by Romeu. And I am being harsh here. I am being admittedly harsh here on Romeu. But here's why, folks. Here's why I'm being harsh on Romeu. I'm not asking him to be Busquets. I'm not asking him to be Frankie de Jong. I'm not asking him to be our go-to pivot. Romeu, I'm asking you to follow your mark. That's all I'm asking. And you can do that. That is a achievable task. Follow your mark. Jude Bellingham, top of the box. You're right there with him. You watched him run past you. You decided not to follow, and then you watched him score the match-winning goal. Romeu, I know a lot of Barca fans are against you because you're not Busquets, right? I'm reasonable. I understand the expectation. I just need you to be a defensive juggernaut out there. And I get it. There's been no Frankie. There's been no Pedri so that you can be the role player that you're supposed to be. You're being asked to do too much. I get it. I don't care about any of that. Follow your mark. You didn't do it. You let Jude Bellingham in. For those reasons, you get the bad box. Sorry, Romeu. I love you, but follow your mark. Get in the box. Okay. All right. Shake that off, folks. Shake that off. I don't like to stay in the bad box very long. Shake it off. We're moving on. We're going to talk about what was Barca about this match. We had a few players show up big despite the scoreline, despite the end results. There's 3 Barca boxes still to give out here, starting with Araujo. He is Vinny Jr.'s daddy. Vinny Jr. had to resort to all kinds of antics, all kinds of silliness, all kinds of nonsense because he could not get in this match. Time and time and time again. It had to have been a sleepless night for Vinny Jr. Had to have been. Araujo owns Vinny Jr. He is Vinny Jr.'s daddy. Come sit on my lap, little baby. Every El Clasico now, Araujo owns Vinny Jr. So you got to give him that shout out. Cancelo. He would have buried that one shot, and you know the one I'm talking about. Would have been the mustache man of the match. Would have been a totally different result, but he is a defender at the end of the day. So I can't really fault him for that. I give him full credit for his performance defensively and on the attack, playing in the right wing position, right midfield at times. Sometimes there's a 4-3-3, sometimes there's a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. Xavi not afraid about mixing things up there. But joao Cancelo stepping up to the occasion, really being a nightmare on that right-hand side. So gets himself a Barca box for today. And the third Barca box, gotta go to Gundo. Gotta go to Gundo. Loving his comments, calling out his players, saying we gotta get our mentality to that championship level. This isn't enough. We gotta learn from the lessons. Love what I'm seeing from Gundo, and gets his first goal. So you gotta give him recognition for that. You gotta give him some love. It was a hustle play as well. Not the cleanest build-up. Got broken up, little slide tackle, had to win it back. A hustle play at the end of the day. Gets himself his first goal and gets himself the Barca box for his performance against Real Madrid. Which brings us to the mustache man of the match. Might be thinking, who could this be? I'm going to give it to you, folks. Gavi. Maybe a little bit of surprise for some of you. Not the goal scorer, not the setup man. Jude Bellingham did get 2 goals to beat us. But here's why Gavi's the mustache man of the match. Neither of those goals were his fault. And outside of those 2 plays, with Jude Bellingham scoring, Gavi was everywhere that Jude Bellingham was. Shutting him down, marking him out, taking him out of this match. Jude Bellingham did not have a great match. And some of you are going to lose it in the comments. Oh my God, he's hating on Jude Bellingham. No. It's actually further complimentary of what he did to us. He was marked out of the match by Gavi for 90 of the 96 minutes played. But there were 2 occasions. The first, the rocket goal, Gavi cleared the cross with a diving header. It falls to Jude. Nobody else stepped up. Not Gavi's fault. The second one, I'd have to go back and look and see where Gavi was marking-wise, but Romeu had Bellingham in the buildup of that play. It wasn't Gavi marking Bellingham. It was Romeu. And Romeu just let him go. So neither goal is Gavi's fault. He had an outstanding performance. He embarrassed Toni Kroos. I think their Instagram war is over. If I'm Toni Kroos, I'm honestly considering retirement at this point based off of what Gavi and Fermin Lopez did to me in El Clasico. So Gavi gets the mustache man of the match. Gundo gets the Barca box for his goal. Romeu, you got to take it on the chin, brother. You got to follow your marks. You get the bad box. Ferran Torres gets the good box. And we move on. We move on, my friends. Okay? Lots of football still to be played. We got Champions League coming up. We got Real Sociedad before that. We got a lot of football coming up here, friends. Okay? And I already mentioned one piece of good news here, but I'll bring it up again. Quoting Javi Miguel, Fermin Lopez has Xavi's absolute trust, and starting today, he will never return to the reserve team. Xavi met with him and informed him of his importance to the first team, and that even Pedri's return from injury would not be an obstacle for him. Javi Miguel, on the other hand, the Spanish national team coach, is thinking of calling him up for the upcoming international games. Let's go. Fermin Lopez coming up. Big boy doing big things. All right, another little piece of news that we can get excited about. It's all but official. Lionel Messi will be announced as the Ballon d'Or winner later tonight. His Ballon d'Or will be number 8 as expected, and there will be quite the ceremony, quite the celebration. So I'm excited for Lionel Messi. I'm excited for the future of Barcelona. Keep your heads up. Try to stay positive. It's a loss. We'll shake it off, okay? I'm going to turn to the chat. I'm going to see how we're feeling about the good, the bad, the Barca. Let me know what I got right, what I got wrong. What would you change? What do you put in the good, the bad, the Barca boxes? Who's your mustache man of the match? Let me know. I'm going to turn to the chat here. If you're watching on replay, let me know down in the comments. Don't be shy. And whether you're watching live or on replay, make sure you drop a like. Show some love and support for the channel. What's up, Kay? How we doing? Welcome to the community. Poncho Mike fully agrees with the good, bad, and Barca list. Harry, what's up, brother? Also agrees with the list. Appreciate it. Poncho says, mustache man of the match should be Xavi, in my opinion. He got the better of Ancelotti. For about 75 minutes, yes. Once Modric came on and started playing deep in the midfield, receiving the ball early, looking to distribute from kind of a deeper pocket. That gave Barca some challenges that we were forced to either have Gavi leave Bellingham and come Mark Modric, or Fermin or Romeu was going to have to step up and play a much higher line than what we wanted. We were trying to stay compact there. So credit to Ancelotti for figuring out that. At the end of the day, I do think Xavi had his number for most of that match, and I do think we should have done better. Harry says, I'd have to say Ferran is quite an underrated good. He didn't do much, but off the ball, I like what he did. Cancelo and Felix were good along with Raphinha. Yeah, I'm glad we're getting Raphinha back. Lewandowski will get back and find his form. We'll get there, folks. We'll get there. Like I said, a lot to be excited about. Pedri's coming back. Frankie's coming back. We just got back Raphinha and Lewandowski. We've got a almost full 11 of players under 25 that are becoming world-class players. So, very excited. Yes, I see your comment there, Christian. The no penalty call against Araujo, just insane. Agent 48, good morning to you, sir. Says, it's been a long time, but here we are now. Xavi sub were detrimental to the team, but I'll say this. With just Frankie de Jong in the midfield, we beat Real Madrid. I think so. I think that's a good point. Wow. That's a good point, Agent 48. You give us Frankie de Jong and we win that match. Yeah, that's a really good point. You give us Frankie and we win that match. I'm in full agreement there. Harry says, Pedri and Frankie could be back for Sociedad, apparently, according to Sport. Fingers crossed, but also let's make sure that they're fully ready to be back. Agent 48 says De Jong makes Ancelotti keep Modric on the bench. Wow. I do think we have a better midfield. I do think we have a better squad. I do think we're going to end up winning La Liga. Those are my thoughts, folks. I think it's going to happen. With that said, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to start my day. I hope you all are having a wonderful start to your week. I want you to go out there and do positive things, high fives and hugs for whoever wants them. I love you all very much. We will be live again Friday for Wake Up in Barca. We'll do a little match preview for Real Sociedad. We'll talk lineup. We'll talk predictions. We'll cheer on the Blaugrana. We'll support the badge and each other as always. All right? This is a place for culés to come together, connect, have some good conversation. And of course, even if you're not a Barcelona supporter, if you love football, if you love good conversation, this is the place for you. So I appreciate you spending some time with me. I appreciate you hanging out. Thank you to my stash mods, Harry and Kudis, for holding things down today. Thank you so much for everyone participating in the chat. Ahmed, I see you sneaking in there. Thank you so much for hanging out. Harry, thank you one more time. Yes, listen to the Mas Que Un podcast. New episodes every Monday. We got episode 2 coming out later today, so make sure you check that out. With that out of the way, have a wonderful week. I will see you all Friday. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking a ride. Mwah.